So this will be a critical week on Capitol Hill for the immigration reform bill. It heads to the Senate Judiciary Committee, and that committee is expected to look at hundreds of amendments, many of which are aimed specifically at killing the bill. It's also a big question of whether or not Republicans will line up and support the bill, giving President Obama a legislative victory. You might remember during the gun control debate a few weeks ago when background checks failed, one of the Republican senators leading the effort for these background checks, Senator Toomey, blamed his fellow Republican colleagues for the bill failing, saying that they just couldn't muster up enough courage to give the president a legislative victory. So we'll see if this kind of strain of thought leads to immigration reform being killed as well. To complicate matters, we have a new study out of the Heritage Foundation yesterday, headed by former Senator Jim DeMint. It appears to be trying to kill immigration reform too, saying that the bill is going to cost over $6 trillion. And one of the leading Republican senators pushing for immigration reform, Senator Marco Rubio, came out today criticizing the study, saying it doesn't take into account a lot of economic factors that will actually boost GDP growth and actually lower the costs of the bill. And moving on to the online sales tax bill, which passed out of the Senate yesterday, that's going to head to the House, where its prospects for passing right now are dim. The House Speaker of the House, John Boehner, today said that it's not very high on the priority list to pass this bill. And also, there's still a lot of opposition in the House that doesn't quite exist in the Senate to this bill. For one, there's a lot of anti-tax advocates, the Americans for Tax Reform, the Grover Norquist crowd. They have a lot more power in the House than they have in the Senate, and they're not too pleased with this bill either. And there's also Democrats who aren't pleased with this bill. Last night, Senator Ron Wyden, Democratic senator who voted against the bill, spoke out saying it's going to put undue burdens on small businesses.
Mr. President, today the Senate is voting on whether to take a few more inches off the little guy. With this vote for the so-called Marketplace Fairness Act, what you have is big businesses being given the ability to force, mind you, new regulations onto the startups.
To prove that point, if you look at the industries that were lobbying for this bill, you have Walmart, you have Target, you have Amazon, you have some of the biggest retailers in the country pushing for this bill. So there must be something there for why they want this. And they say that it's because they want to close a tax loophole. Well, it just so happens to be the one tax loophole that they can't take advantage of. So here we have an online tax bill that just passed out of the Senate. We have gun control that died a few weeks ago. We have immigration reform that's headed for a bumpy road. And when you're trying to figure out why certain legislation passes out of the Senate and why certain legislation doesn't, it's good to look at the backers. The online sales tax bill had lots of well-funded corporate backers behind it. These other bills don't seem to have that. Just another day on Capitol Hill. Sam Sachs, RT.